Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and are you guys tired of watching these short anime that end way too soon? Like, bro, before you even settle in, boom, it's over. Well, I've got good news for you, cause today I'm bringing you 6 long-ass anime that will keep you hooked, invested, and binging for a really good time. So sit tight, cause this list is stacked. So let's begin the video. On number 6, Prince of Tennis is one of those classic sports anime that knows exactly what it's doing. It follows Ryoma Echizen, a tennis prodigy who joins Seishun Academy and immediately shakes things up by beating players way more experienced than him. From there, it's a steady climb through tougher rivals, bigger tournaments, and plenty of growth both on and off the court. The progression is really well done. You get that same hype feeling sports anime always deliver, just without going too over-the-top flashy like Blue Lock. Instead, it focuses on strong matches, smart plays, and the grind that makes victories feel earned. If you're into sports anime, you'll feel right at home here. You get the rivalries, the intense training arcs, and those nail-biting matches that keep you on the edge of your seat. It's fun, it's competitive, and it has just the right mix of character drama to balance out the intensity. At the end of the day, it's a solid, entertaining ride. Don't expect it to reinvent the wheel. It's not trying to be crazy experimental, but it holds up really well on its own. If you enjoy watching characters grow, push themselves, and fight for their place on the court, this anime will give you a great time. On number 5. D.Gray Man at first sounds like your typical exorcist fighting demons, but don't let that fool you. The plot might look generic on paper, but trust me, it gets dark real quick. This anime doesn't shy away from heavy topics, what it means to be human, the agony of inner conflict, and the brutal choices people make for the ones they care about. One moment you're vibing with the exorcists, the next you're hit with some emotional gut punch that makes you sit back and think, damn, that was heavy. The world building is genuinely impressive, everything is explained in detail, the lore keeps expanding, and the deeper you go, the more you realize how layered and complex this universe really is. It never feels half-baked, it keeps pulling you further in with new mysteries, new powers, and new threats. Talk about characters. Each of them has a unique personality that fits perfectly into the story. From Alan's struggles with his cursed arm, to Kanda's stoic badassery, to Lavi's sharp wit, every character feels essential. Yes, the art style is a bit of that old school shonen look, but if you can overlook that, you'll find yourself on an incredible ride. The action is strong, the emotional beats land, and the balance between dark themes, fantasy adventure, and character drama is spot on. At its core, it is a brilliant dark fantasy story that juggles everything an anime should: action, emotion, world building, and personality, and does it extremely well. On number 4. Fairy Tail is that anime everyone knows about, but somehow it always gets left out when people talk about the great action fantasy anime. And honestly, that's criminal, because this series is a mix of One Piece's adventure and Naruto's fiery battles, but it still manages to be unique in its own way. It follows Natsu, Lucy, Urza, Gray, and the rest of the Fairy Tail guild as they punch their way through dragons, dark guilds, gods, and basically anything that gets in their way. The action is hype, the fights are flashy, the soundtrack goes harder than it has any right to, and the animation, especially in the major arcs, delivers on both spectacle and emotion. It's got magic duels, dragon slayers, and some of the most fun guild dynamics you'll ever see. Now, the honest talk, Fairy Tail doubles down hard on the friendship will fix everything theme. Some people roll their eyes at it, but for me, that's exactly where the charm lies. That raw, unshakable belief in bonds, in loyalty, in fighting side by side. It awakens the 10-year-old kid in me who loves seeing heroes win, not just because they're strong, but because they believed in each other. The thing is, we just don't get anime like this much anymore. So yeah, Fairy Tail might not always get mentioned with the big names, but for me, it's one of those anime that sticks with you, not because it's perfect, but because it's heartfelt, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's pure nostalgic magic. On number 3. Yu Hakusho is pure 90s anime magic, the kind of show that feels nostalgic even if you're watching it for the first time. The story starts with Yusuke Urameshi, this rough around the edges teenager who doesn't really care about much, until he dies in the very first episode. Yep, talk about a way to start. But instead of being gone for good, he gets a second chance. This time as a spirit detective, taking on demons and solving supernatural chaos. What makes this anime so good isn't just the crazy action. Though trust me, the fights are some of the best shonen has ever given us. It's the way the characters grow on you. Yusuke goes from being a reckless punk to someone you can actually root for. And his friends, Kuwabara, Kurama, Hiei, each of them has their own quirks, struggles, and growth that make you care about more than just the battles. The Dark Tournament arc alone is a masterpiece. The tension, the strategies, the emotional stakes. It's everything you'd want from a shonen showdown, and it still holds up decades later. Add in that gritty 90s art style and animation, and you've got a series that feels raw, stylish, and timeless all at once. For me, Yu Hakusho has a special place in my heart. It's not just one of the best 90s action anime, it's one of the best anime, period. On number 2. Gintama is absurd comedy at its absolute finest. On the surface, it looks like some samurai-era anime, until you realize aliens run the government, the main character carries a wooden sword, and half the show is just roasting every other anime you've ever watched. I'm talking Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach. No one is safe. The parodies are so sharp, it's impossible not to laugh, and that's what makes it one of the best comedy anime out there. But here's the real beauty of Gintama. It's not just dumb gags. Sure, it starts off lighthearted, but it's the only anime I know that keeps leveling up, both in its story and its comedy. And when it decides to get serious, it goes all out. The arcs hit hard with emotion, tension, and action that rival the best shonen anime ever made. At the center of all this chaos is Gintoki. Through the laughs and parodies, you slowly see his journey, his values, his beliefs, and the kind of person he really is. He'll risk everything for the people he cares about, standing firm when it matters most, and then joke about it the very next second. That balance of seriousness and silliness is exactly what makes him one of the most unforgettable anime protagonists. That's why Gintama is so special. It's absurdly funny, packed with legendary parodies, but also full of heart. It's the perfect anime if you want something big to dive into, and if you ask me, it's easily in my top 10 anime of all time. That's how good it is. It makes you laugh until your stomach hurts, then flips it and makes you cry for real. On number 1. Hajime No Ippo is hands down the best boxing anime you'll ever watch, period. But what makes it special isn't just the punches, the footwork, or the insane training arcs. It's the story of Ippo himself, this shy, quiet kid who gets bullied constantly. Until one day, boxing gives him the strength to literally turn his bullies into his biggest fans. And that's the moment I completely fell in love with this anime. What makes Ippo so relatable is how raw it feels. Even though he becomes a boxer, it doesn't magically fix his life. He still struggles with confidence, with balancing his career and personal life, with figuring out who he is outside the ring. That's the beauty of it. You're not just watching a sports anime, you're watching a kid grow into himself, one jab at a time. The boxing itself is absolutely top tier. Every fight is thrilling, every strategy feels smart, and the animation makes you feel every hit right in your gut. But the heart of the show is in the way it blends the grind of chasing a dream with the everyday struggles we all face. Honestly, Hajime No Ippo is nothing short of a masterpiece. It's funny when it needs to be, emotional when it counts, and inspiring all the way through. It's the kind of anime that doesn't just make you cheer for Ippo, it makes you want to get up, push yourself, and maybe even chase a dream of your own. And there you have it. If you found something new to watch, make sure to smash that subscribe button for more. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.